You know what's funny? For me, the revelation that now we achieved a new level of our friendship was the other day.
Oh yeah.
when you called me a pussy. Because I showed it to Christine. I was like, Ville called me a pussy. We really are good friends now.
That's it. That was your.
Because when you just are in that beginning stage of a friendship with someone, you're kind of like showing your best side to everyone.
Right.
You're always careful with what you say, but you're calling me pussy.
That's
that was such a special moment for me. Thank you, Ville.
I'm happy to
I
hear
really
that.
appreciate that. It's very nice. Should I share why you called me a pussy?
Yeah, you could.
And which actually brings to something that I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But you called me a pussy because we talked about Klaus,
Right.
my favorite Christmas film.
Tony's favorite film.
And I said that I held back a little bit of tears at the end, even though we actually spoke about it in the podcast, how it is okay to cry in movies. That was, I think it was the first episode. We talked about it.
Probably, yeah.
And I said, even though we said it, we talked about it, it is okay. I still found myself kind of being like, nah, I'm too good for this.
Yeah. Did you watch it with Christina?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you said one word, pussy.
Yeah.
You meant it. I felt that you were like,
Yeah,
pussy.
definitely. It was accurate. you deserve it.
And I admit it. I said, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But which brings me to what I wanted to talk to you about. You saw Klaus.
I did. Yeah, that was a very fucking great film.
Yeah.
Very great. Tony did not hype it too much, and if you have not seen it, I highly recommend to watch it.
You said that you paused it at some point just to say like that's a good film. Like you thought about it.
Yeah, I watched it with my sister and my girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I think we were 10 minutes in, and we just looked at each other and was like, okay, this is it. We are on for a good ride. We knew it, and we just said to each other like throughout the film. I heard my sister saying and my girlfriend saying like, "God damn, why haven't I seen this before? It's such a good film." It was very clear from the beginning that it's going to be a good film, and it was a perfect film.
It's well animated. It's well written.
Yeah, and
it's
funny.
witty. It's funny.
It's witty.
And it is very original. It's such an original take
It's
on the
completely-
story of Santa Claus.
Yeah, that as well. It was original story of one of the of a very, very old story that everybody knows. It's an original take on that. I very much liked the angle and the spin they took for that. I think it was very fucking funny. The kid with the carrot who was always sticking the carrot in the snow. Man, it was so fucking funny.
Yeah. I also saw Love Actually.
You saw the whole film?
Half of it.
Oh, okay,
Still
got
half of it. But I must say, I'm very impressed with how they connect the different scenes and the different storylines when the character is basically talking about one thing and then in the next scene they're also talking about something, either that or something similar, or sometimes they even pick up on a single word, like if someone says, oh, that's so exciting, and then cuts to a new scene and the next one says, oh, I'm so excited about it's very smooth transition between so many different stories. I don't even remember that there were so many different storylines.
There's a lot of them. I think that comes clear already from the poster or from the cover of it. It's like 12 different actors or something.
I need to watch crucially the second half, because that's where I think I really started having like second thoughts about it. But I just want to clarify that it is still a very well made film. I really enjoyed it.
Could it be that can you see that after finishing the film you could be like, yeah, it's well made, but it's not my cup of tea?
Yes.
Okay.
I can see myself, which is very funny because I actually think it is a good thing when we disagree on films or don't have the same opinion.
That's true, because it's quite rare. It's actually very rare when you think about it.
Yeah. And, if all the time we agree on everything, that would be very boring.
Very fucking boring.
Podcast and everything.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting to me that you really put it very high. That was your best Christmas film.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, we actually feel quite different about this one. And that's very interesting because we agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, we do. Especially when it comes to films, we agree a lot. But that's the thing. You really cannot know if a relationship with somebody works based on the things that you like or don't like. I feel like with my girlfriend as well, who I think we are a very good fit together, but we very much disagree with a lot of things, starting from humor, for example. So I think,
you don't have the same type of humor?
No, not at all.
Oh man,
you're
putting her through a lot.
Oh, for sure. What about you? Do you have the same type of humor?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that in a lot of ways we have a similar type of humor.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think my humor is rubbing a lot on her.
Okay. Yeah,
which
I can
is
see
probably ruining her, making her less popular among her friends.
I guess that's how it usually goes. That it's
I don't know when this will be out, but Avatar 2 is coming.
Oh yeah.
Are you excited to see it?
I'm excited because you're excited.
I'm very excited to see
I
it.
know. Hey, actually, speaking about that, do you know what I have here in my wallet?
Okay. Ville is pulling out his wallet, and it is. Wait. Whoa, what? Can I see?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ville just gave me. What the fuck? Why do I not
You
have
don't
that?
have that one.
What? Okay, so here's
Fucking
context.
loser.
Ville just pulled out of his wallet
God
a
damn.
sick, quasi, very nice looking card that it looks like a debit card, but it's
like
not.
a debit card, but it's not.
It's from NMOTF, which is the Danish Film Institute.
Yeah.
And I assume this is your membership card?
Yep. Tony has been a member.
I've been a member for years.
For a year. I finally got inspired by Tony, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign up to be a member as well. I got this card. I thought that Tony has the card. That's why I showed it to you. Like, look, I am the member now.
Oh my god.
But turns out that he doesn't. I think it's like VIP or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the membership in there, by the way, it's a long story, but you get to see a free movie per month, and then you get discount on movies in there. And it's the Danish Film Institute, so they play lesser known films. They play classics, old movies that are way
French New
past.
Wave films. Probably.
Yeah, French New Wave. This will be a running joke now. French New Wave.
Right.
Wait, is that free? Do you have to pay additionally for that card?
No.
Fuck.
It was part of them. I think you should talk to them.
That's the audacity, the disrespect.
Yeah, and go there with an attitude.
I
Just
go
go
and be
there
like,
with an attitude.
hey, do you know who I am? I'm Tony's Film Corp.
Tony's Film Club. Plus, you probably know me from other YouTube channel and my short films that has a lot of views.
And that podcast. Yeah, I also did the podcast too.
Yeah, exactly. So, where's my card? For real though, I think coming to the topic, what film we should watch together, we could go.
We should watch the monthly film of the month.
Right. That would
We
be
should
very
should make it a tradition that we see what. And that's the good thing is that we have no fucking idea what the movie will be or what it is
We
about.
just go there.
So we just go in blind. Okay, deal. We do that.
We do that.
I am in disbelief, and this card looks so sick. It's black, it's shiny, classy looking.
Yeah, when I got that, I was like, okay, now I am part of something big.
Now you know the French New Wave.
Now I know the French New Wave, amongst other things.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous. I had no idea they do physical cards. I've been member for years.
You get screwed over, man.
Okay, I'm gonna need to speak to a manager.
You should.
I'll be a Karen. I'll be very entitled.
You go on with that attitude. Okay, Tony's taking a sip of water, so it's my responsibility to take over this conversation.
That will show them. Yeah, thank you very for covering. Do you rewatch the same Christmas film twice?
In a Christmas?
Would you watch Love Actually again?
Not normally, but this Christmas I did because my sister came to visit and she hadn't seen Love Actually, so I watched it again with her.
I just imagine how pumped you are. You're like, what? You're
Yeah.
You're foaming from the mouth.
Wow. Oh, for sure. I mean, like when you get to watch something that somebody else has watched and you know that it's good.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was just about to come to that as well. You go. You
know what's funny? How we just pointed at each other with a cheek as well. I was gonna say that feeling when you hype a movie to someone and then you show it to them,
and they have to.
Isn't that fucking nervous?
That's fucking nervous. And then at some point they look at their phone.
Oh, they hit you with like, and suddenly you're like,
kidding me?
Yeah, suddenly you're like, oh man, the best part is coming. Just wait, just wait. Oh, this thing. Oh, it's like suddenly the joke that you thought was hilarious, it's not landing as much when the person is right next to you. That's nerve-wracking. That's why I actually have a bit of a hard time recommending movies because I'm like,
yeah, you feel partially responsible of it, even though you had nothing to do with the film. But
then you lose your reputation. They're like, they recommended me a shit movie.
But we cannot afford that.
No, we are the no marks on the floor guys.
Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah, cannot even finish the sentence. For sure. We were talking earlier about writing.
Last week.
Yeah. We last week talked about writing.
I'm laughing because we're recording the two podcasts in the same day.
Yeah.
But for you guys, it's been last week.
Did we empty the gas on that topic? Because I feel like it's just an interesting topic, but
I don't think so. I think this is something that you know a lot about, more than me too. And I really want to pick up your brain.
You know what? That could actually be because like here's the thing. When it comes to films and yes, that kind of stuff, Tony has more knowledge about it because he is much more invested than I am. He also
I thought you were gonna say he's a fucking loser. He ain't got no life.
he's like on his free time he spends much more time on it, but also you work in related field, and also you're very interested in YouTube and content creating in general, which goes hand in hand. I think in any filmmaking, I think you're much more interested and you're much better in that as well. But that is true. I think screenwriting is something that I probably know more because you haven't paid that much attention to that, and I think that is the only area that I have actually paid attention.
Do you read screenplays
So
from popular movies?
Before answering question, the reason why I pointed out is I'm enjoying this moment because this happens very rare when I talk.
Well, first of all, I disagree, but also I just wanted to point that out. Normally, I was gonna say you're bullying me. You're like, you fucking nerd. Oh, you have film history. Give me your lunch money.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to say, Ville bullies me, and then we turn on the microphone, and he's all nice guy.
Yeah.
It's just don't let that fool you.
Who sent you a message?
Christina.
What it says?
She's asking me if we're recording.
Well,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna bully her.
Bully her and tell her to come in.
I'm gonna say yes, come in anyways.
Yes.
But Ville, first of all, I don't agree that that's the only thing you know more about, because it's not true. Okay. But I completely agree that you know more about it. So I want to pick your brain about it. Do you read screenplays from movies?
Yes. But I also just read screenplays of films that I have not seen, and then might watch the film afterwards.
That is very interesting to me. I really want to try that, to read the screenplay, imagine it in my head, and then see how they actually did it.
Yeah. And I think the most interesting is to read screenplays that are films that are about to be produced. I remember, you know the film Don't Worry, Darling? Just were in film theaters. You said that you liked that trailer or something. You spoke about the idea.
Don't Worry, Darling.
I think the film...
Oh, isn't the one about with Harry Styles?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
The like 60s...
I actually forgot about it. Yeah, I thought the setup, the premise is good.
Exactly, yeah. You talk about that, and I remember reading the screenplay, like, it came from Blacklist.
Mm-hmm.
I read the screenplay like 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
And I knew that they're going to be producing it, and I knew that Olivia Wilde was attached to direct the film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I got very interested. And to be honest, still to this day, I have not seen the film, but I should. But I saw the trailer, and I could see it from the trailer that it was very different from the original screenplay. And that's why it would be very interesting to see.
Between the two, watching first and then reading the screenplay, I think reading it first and then watching the film, it's much more interesting.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, me too.
I also think basically doing it side by side. I think there's YouTube videos where they play a scene and they actually wrote the screenplay on the side too.
Also in the bonus material, if you buy like a film in DVD, there might be.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Something maybe we can talk about. Do you or have you listened to directors' commentaries on movies?
I've never done that, but I should. I think it could be very interesting.
I am mind blown because I haven't either. Oh. No. But I just realized, oh my fucking god, I am missing on so much interesting things. I mean, to listen to Cameron talk about Titanic, to listen to Nolan talk about Interstellar for an hour while playing the movie. Yeah. It's like, it feels like director's commentary is kind of faded away, maybe because now it's so much streaming and people don't buy DVD Blu-rays as much. Yeah. But I don't even know where to find them. I cannot find any director's commentaries anywhere. But there should be maybe like a website with just director's commentaries. That would be amazing.
That would be fucking amazing. And you know what? Because, like, for that sole reason, for the past 3 years, I have been buying DVDs quite a lot, and I have done it 0 times. But I've been buying them in the thinking that it's awesome because I have the possibility to look up in the bonus material that might have the actors or directors
deleted scenes
or the commentary track, and I still haven't done it.
Why? Do you think it's just too big of a commitment? Because they play over the movie, right? So
I think so. I think so. That's the thing. I don't even know.
I think that basically they just play the movie and then it's like the director just talks over it. But it's so interesting to hear them share stories. Like maybe there's a scene and they're like, when we filmed this scene, this happened, or I initially wanted to do this, and you hear the fucking director and sometimes also actors and
exactly,
and writers. So I've never heard the fucking director's commentary, and I really want to, especially when you see a movie that you love.
Right.
I mean, Tarantino, like his director's commentary must be a fucking experience in itself.
Hey, that's actually a good place to start with the screen. No, probably not a good place to start, but interesting place to read at least. Interesting place to start to read Tarantino screenplays, because he write them as books.
Right?
But that's also because he directs them himself.
He's a very talented writer.
He is.
But also basically a book writer. Like he would write a novel.
I think that's what he's actually.
That's his main thing at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like he's more of a writer rather than a director.
And I think that's what he says as well. Like he writes books and then he just makes films of it. But I think it wouldn't definitely not work if somebody else would need to direct his screenplays. I think if you, as an unknown writer, would write a screenplay in the same way as Tarantino writes, it would be like banned. It would be like, this is not a screenplay, dude. You need to learn the format and there are rules to it, which he doesn't to some extent follow, because he writes them like the description lines and the action lines and stuff.
Have you checked out the Tarantino screenplay?
Yeah.
So basically,
Unchained.
They have a lot more information.
Ooh, it has so much more information than it's in the well, not well, actually, yeah. There's a lot of more information that comes into the film, but he knows. He just directs them in the way. Yeah.
So it's like, the general rule of thumb is that 1 page of screenplay is 1 minute of film. For his case, it's probably like 10 seconds of film. Because it's just like, and then Django enters the room. So Django, he was born in, he looks like this, and that's how he speaks, and that's how what he wears.
Yeah, exactly.
I when I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the thing that I love doing is to see a movie and then read about it, read comments about it, read interviews. I love that. So there's a lot of that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's just to hear Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie talk about working with Tarantino is fucking hilarious. Because Leonardo DiCaprio would be like, so he would tell me about my character, and then he would tell me he would make a fictional career for the character. So he used to be on that show, but then the show got cancelled, and then he wrote fictional episodes of the show his fictional character was working on. He would go so deep into details about their characters. It's fucking crazy, but it's also very interesting because they're so fleshed out. They feel very, very real. And as an actor, like, it's so funny to listen to Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt be like, okay, wow, it's can you just tell me the direction? What do I need to say? It's like, I don't care what my character ate for breakfast yesterday. But Tarantino, he will have all the answers. He will know every single detail about his characters.
Do you like his films?
I like them. They're not my favorites. It's not my go-to, I just appreciate them and I like them. I think they're very unique, and he's an auteur. He's a writer and director who has full control over everything. It's his vision and his movies, and they're very unique, very interestingly written. Not my type of films necessarily, but I like them. I definitely don't dislike them.
Yeah, his films are like you can easily see, and those are a good example of films that even if you don't like them, you can understand why other people might like them.
He's very passionate about cinema. He loves film. You can tell.
Across.
Yeah, it really comes across. Which is interesting now. It's very well known that he will make the last movie. His next movie will be the last movie.
Oh, is that like is that very well known? I thought it's been just like gossip.
No. He's confirmed it many times. So he has 9 movies out now.
And he's gonna
and then the next one, 10, he said it will be the last movie I ever make. And that's it.
Do you know what that is about?
What?
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I was like, you're gonna tell me.
Can we Google it?
I know.
I find it very interesting because, like, you would think that being who he is and having the kind of reputation he has, coming out with a statement like that, I would think that puts a lot of pressure.
It does, but I know his reasoning. I've heard him talk about it many times. It's basically a combination of things. One is that he wants only to make movies that he feels very strongly and passionate about. And second, the way he says it is that he doesn't want to turn into an old, irrelevant director that is just making movies for the sake of it, and he doesn't get in with the times anymore. He doesn't know what's going on. So he wants every movie of his to feel like an event. There's the new Tarantino movie.
Right.
Did you see the 6th movie? Oh, the 9th Tarantino movie. So he wants every movie to be very special, big deal, event. And that's why he's so careful. And then the next one will be his last one. He's confirmed it many, many, many times.
But he's getting... he's 59 now.
Which is pretty actually young for a director.
Yeah.
And directors, look at Scorsese. He's still killing it. And he's 80, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think he has many good years still left to make good films. But if that's how
Hopefully,
it feels,
please Scorsese make many more movies.
maybe Tarantino will then transfer to writing
Yeah,
books.
I think that's his plan. I think that he wants to just transition into writing, and I think he potentially said he might do a TV show. He might consider making a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's been now 3 years since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out.
Yeah.
And the biggest gap he has had between films is between Jackie Brown and Kill Bill Volume 1. And there was 6 years gap.
Okay.
God damn, so we need to wait the 3 more years at least.
He actually he said something funny that he writes a movie once he has a great idea for an opening scene.
Oh, yeah?
And with Django Unchained, for example, he said that he came up with the opening scene, and that's how he knew he had a movie in there. It was the opening scene that got him excited to write the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he sounds like a guy who... I think he has also confirmed this many times in interviews, but he has said that he doesn't know, he doesn't put it out, he doesn't make a layout of like all the character arcs and everything. He just he wants to figure it out while he's writing that where these characters ends up.
That's an interesting way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because normally, in most cases, it's the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to establish the story arc and then figure out a way to get from A to B to C to D.
Exactly.
But to him, it's kind of like, I will let the character lead me.
Yeah, let the character tell me.
But I think it makes sense in his perspective because he has fleshed out so much those characters that at some point he's like, he makes a situation and he's like, oh, that's what Rick would do. Because it's like a person that he knows. He knows how he would react and what he would make of this situation. So that's why he lets them sort of lead the story.
Yeah, and actually, like, I think, like, what you're saying, I think, like, I agree. But then the part that, when you said that he knows the characters, I think that part was, I think, is not true, because I think that the point here is that he doesn't know the characters, and that's why he doesn't know where they will end up and what they will do.
So you mean like they develop them as he goes?
As he goes, yeah, and then the characters will do what they do and tell what they will tell, and then Tarantino also will be like, oh, look at that, I didn't know that would happen, even though he's the one who's writing them.
Yeah, he'll write something, he's like, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds fucking ridiculous. It sounds fucking ridiculous, but I think
this is so funny. But
that's
yeah,
how it is. I really think that's how it is.
You know, this sounds very realistic. That he's literally writing and he's surprised by what he's written. He's like, wow.
But wouldn't that be super funny way to actually write stuff? It sounds like that's very exciting.
You know, by the time his next movie is out, this podcast will be fucking huge, and we're gonna get him as a guest and ask him.
I think we can easily get him already now.
I think so too, but he's not quite there yet.
He's not quite there yet. Let's wait for you. Let's see how his films turn out if we want to.
But you know, I love when filmmakers obsess about so many details in their movies. I really fucking love Easter eggs, and I love when they really flesh out their entire story. For example, James Cameron with Pandora, the planet that Avatar takes place in.
Yeah.
I know that he's very fucking obsessed with the flora and fauna. Oh, fancy words in here.
Oh, here we go, French New Wave.
French New Wave. He's very obsessed with what sort of plants are in there, what sort of animals, insects. And as far as I understand, he's made an encyclopedia, fictional encyclopedia of what sort of plants they live in the planet. Maybe there's a type of animal. What does the animal hunt? What's the sleep pattern of that animal? The skin, the fucking qualls and everything. So he's really fucking deeply obsessed with establishing the world. And I find that fascinating. I really enjoy it when filmmakers do that. When there's Easter eggs about, oh, there's this little thing, the story nugget. Fucking love it.
Me too.
Not anyone can do that.
No.
Not for any movie. But when it happens, it's awesome.
It is awesome. Easter eggs are very exciting.
Even if it's unnecessary, even if no one would ever find out or care about it, the fact that they care so much, it really makes you care too. Because you know that they care so much about it. They've thought about it. So suddenly everything else is a lot more important. It's like, oh, that plant in Avatar, like there's been a lot of thought put into it. So it's important. Yeah. Makes you care. I enjoy that a lot. I really fucking love it when they do that.
Yeah, me too. That's a good point. Makes you care about more.
And not every filmmaker can afford that.
No.
Not every studio would let a filmmaker go too deep into their bullshit. Like
yeah, that's true.